Okay, everybody, great to have you back here. Second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Yesterday, so many great questions came in from the community. Hopefully you got to tune into that show. That was episode 3452. And if you want to follow along with today's show notes, that is episode 3455. You can head on over to stephencabral.com/3453 for today's show. Yesterday, we went over blood work, how to raise iron levels naturally, and also the cofactors to absorb iron. We went over histamines, histamine root causes, mastocytosis. We talked about folliculitis and eczema and what to do if you have to take antibiotics. What else did we talk about? We spoke about what to do if you live in a stressful place and how not to focus on it on a daily basis in order to be able to move your life forward. Then we talked about the food sensitivity test and what actually helps with bloating, and then what helps with acne or inflammation from foods. So great show. That was episode 3452. Let's see what today's questions bring. Just opened up the document. Again, thank you so much to my amazing team. Let's dive in. First question is from Carrie Ann. If I remember correctly, we had a Carrie Ann yesterday, maybe the same person. Carrie Ann says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm wondering if you were familiar with peptide KPV and if you could offer some insight on how it works to decrease inflammation in the body. Thank you." Okay. So again, I don't do any research before I get these questions, but I do research for my private clients and on my own every single day. So this is a peptide that I am familiar with. There are not a lot of peptides that I recommend and use in my practice yet, only because they're very new. And so I want to wait till we see if there are side effects 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Now, most of these peptides are probably totally fine if you have no pre-existing issues, meaning like that would be set off by these peptides. Also, if they're used in a short-term fashion. I don't know if you're talking about short-term or if you're using them long-term, but peptide KPV, if I'm remembering correctly, actually comes from a melanocyte-based precursor. It works on the NF-kappa B inflammatory pathway, decreases interleukin 6s, and what else does it decrease? IL-6 and one other inflammatory marker. So could this be beneficial? Yes. So it could be great in helping to decrease overall inflammation. However, I always ask, why is the inflammation there in the first place? So people might use this for autoimmune issues, for Crohn's, for colitis, but my question is, we're not getting to the underlying root cause. We might be squelching the inflammation. Okay, we use a product like Inflammasoothe and 2 grams of daily omega-3s every day to help with that. But we are not using peptides in that way just because they are more powerful and we don't know necessarily if we're working on those underlying root cause symptoms. So my goal obviously is to work on the gut if there's a gut-based issue. And there is one other peptide that we're a little bit more comfortable using as needed as an add-on, and that would be BP157 for inflammation. You could use that as an injectable, or you could use it orally for gut-based inflammation too. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. That's where we are right now in our practice with that. When more and more studies come out, when we feel more comfortable, then we'll certainly talk more about these specific peptides. Right now, again, I don't want to demean the field because the field is very exciting. However, I am worried about pushing down too much on certain pathways from these peptides that are much more powerful. Are they quite drugs? No, but they're getting close. And again, I'm sticking more with natural-based lifestyle and formulas rather than moving towards peptides right now, even though they're like the new thing. Okay, Jana is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I recently had been diagnosed with visual snow, not visual snow syndrome, confirmed by multiple specialists and a brain MRI. The symptoms began about a year ago, coinciding with high stress, chronic back pain, and returning to work in brightly lit LEDs, newly renovated office, environmental changes like dimming lights, adjusting my computer screen, and using eye strain glasses have eased my painful headaches. However, I still experience tension behind my eyes and forehead. I understand that this is a neurological issue, so I'd appreciate any recommendations to support my brain health, neurological functioning, and visual processing, please. I'm a 39-year-old female, generally healthy and active, and based in Australia. Thank you. Okay, yeah, happy to help with this. So we've helped a few clients with this. So we are always running the Big 5 labs. Again, when I talk about Inflammasoothe or all these different things or Big 5 labs, it's all at stephencabral.com/shop. That just takes you over to Ecolife. That's it. Takes you over to our private practice. All the lab testing is there. We ship to Australia. All the products are there. All the formulas, all the protocols, everything is there. You don't have to use it, but you can at least see what we do to help people. And so even if you didn't run the big 5 labs, the main lab I would run is called the stress, mood, and metabolism test. And I'd be looking for elevated levels of cortisol, especially in the evening. I'd be looking at other imbalances on that lab test in terms of hormones. I would also want to look at your gut health, your higher levels of omega-6 to omega-3s, possibly heavy metals. So I'd look at anything that causes oxidative stress that can then affect the nervous system. If you wanted to run no, that's where I would start. I would say you could also add a mind and mood neurological test to that, neurotransmitter test. But I would have enough information from the previous, especially on that Candida metabolic and vitamins test that looks at dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine metabolites. Okay, so I would definitely start there. And then, again, I would run the labs first. But if you want me to give recommendations, certainly I would work on the certain eye exercise that you can do. I've talked about those in previous shows. There's a product called the Daily Vision and Eye Health Support. That's at stephencabral.com/shop. Definitely recommend that. That has lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. So a great product. Bilberry in there. In terms of stress, I'd be using Adrenal Soothe and magnesium, which can help with calcium and other eye-based issues, neurological issues, especially magnesium, and then the L-theanine and ashwagandha in the Adrenal Soothe. Of course, I would take the daily nutritional support, 2 grams of the omega-3s, your 4,000 IUs of vitamin D3. That would be where I would start. All right. But again, run the labs and you get a personalized plan because every lab comes with a personalized plan rather than my general recommendations based on these conditions. And I have to share with you now, can't provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis. All recommendations I give are all education-based and things I would do with my family, but may or may not be the right choice for you. Okay, Tommy's up next. Tommy says, hello, Stephen. I'm an IHP. A year ago, I started having diarrhea daily. My sleep also suffered, waking up in the night, unable to fall back asleep, even with magnesium, melatonin, and breath work. I had some leftover healthy belly, so I began taking 2 in the morning, 2 at night. Everything cleared up. My bowels were perfect. My mind was clearer. My body was calmer. I thought it was the mastic gum that had killed some of the H. pylori. About 7 days after stopping the healthy belly, it came back again. I've done a parasite protocol, which I had to stop 11 days before the end as I was feeling fatigued. I ran a stool test just before the symptoms and it showed Citrobacter Freundii. I'm unsure whether to do a parasite protocol again or run another stool test. Appreciate you. Yeah, happy to help with this. So again, no medical advice. I already gave my disclaimer. The Healthy Belly is amazing. It has berberine, it has mastic gum, so all of those things are helpful, and I'm glad you got results from that. However, at this point, I would do the CBO protocol. Okay, so that is literally used by thousands of practitioners around the world. I've used it tens of thousands of times in my practice. It works amazing for rebalancing that gut bacteria. Most likely, again, I don't know, but most likely you got some type of bad bacteria in food that you ate, caused diarrhea, messed up your sleep, really caused digestive issues. You might have had a parasite as well, but it seems to be gone now if you did have one. So my recommendation is the CBO protocol, and then after it's done, the CBO finisher to heal and seal the gut wall. All right, Carrie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. And again, it's just stephencabral.com/shop or /CBO. That'll take you over the CBO protocol. Oh, and also, all of these things are guaranteed to work. I just want you to know that. We stand behind everything we do. So just want you to know that. Carrie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm struggling to find the best option for clean water when traveling. I don't want to use plastic water bottles, and glass options are rare and very expensive. I don't mind for flights and even have used Starbucks water that they put in my stainless steel bottle. I need options if I'm going to stay with a friend for a week and need to have clean water. I've looked at water bottles with filters, but I'm not sure they're any good. Do you have any suggestions? Thanks. Okay, this is a great question. I'd love to put this out to the community too. So if you're watching this on YouTube, and hopefully you're following along and subscribing on YouTube, leave a comment if you have a great way to get clean water while traveling. So I'll share with you what I do in just a moment, but okay. Well, my favorite water is at stephencabral.com/hydrogen-water. That shares with you my reverse osmosis filter, my hydrogen water ionizer, all those great things. But let's talk about traveling. So there was a study that just came out that showed that glass water bottles have 50 times the amount of microplastics as plastic water bottles. I find this so hard to believe. That's why I'm not one of those people on social media that says, hey, look at this new study, stop drinking from glass water bottles. I'm a little dubious on that study. I don't know about that. I would love to see who funded that study. Is it actually true? Did they use a company like Icelandic and test their glass water bottles versus their plastic? Let us know. I would love to see this replicated before we start to go wild, saying there's more glass and plastic water bottles than plastic water bottles, which seems really hard to believe. They're theorizing that it comes from the plastic in the cap on glass water bottles. I don't know. Again, I don't trust every study just at face value. I'm a very skeptical individual, and that's because I take my recommendations very seriously. We have a clinical practice. We're not just internet doctors and practitioners. So, okay, here's what I do. When I land in a new city, I used to travel twice a month. I used to travel so much, speak, do all sorts of events, and it was great. And then I had kids and I traveled less. And then COVID happened and then I traveled basically not at all. And after that, since then, I'm like, I don't really love to travel all that much. I like to be home with my family. I like to work. I like to exercise. I like to stay in my routine. But anyway, I still do travel, and it probably averages once every 4 to 6 weeks. So fair amount of travel. I still choose glass water bottles. So I know it's more expensive, no doubt about that. I buy the 1.5 liters, so they're the big bottle, so it's a little less expensive. And what I do is basically when I land in a new area, I go to their local natural health store to support local natural health if I can. That's my first go-to. And if they don't have a natural health store where I can get, like a mom and pop type place, if they don't have that, then I go to Whole Foods or I go to, whatever I can do, that's what I do. And I get glass water bottles. That's essentially what I do. That's how I consume it. And then if I have to drink from plastic, then I drink from plastic. I'm human, just like everybody else, but that's what I do. Because if I'm in a hotel room, what else can I do? Drink tap water? I'm not going to drink the tap water, that's for sure. So that is that. And then if I'm staying with a friend, sometimes, literally, there are less expensive filters that I could get them if I wanted to, right? Think about all the money you're spending in bottled water. We might send a little, countertop filter to them as a little gift. Thanks for letting me stay with you. I sent AquaTrue countertop. And all my favorites are at stephencabral.com/resources. You can find them there. Those are things that I sometimes do, literally. I'll do that. So hopefully that helps. Might not be the right answer for everybody, but honest as to what I do. All right, Shawnee is up. He or she is going to be our last question of the day. Hey there. I was wondering, how long should you be taking digestive enzymes for? I feel great when I take them, so I'd hate to stop them, but I don't want to mess up my digestive system with overusing them. Thanks. All right. Great news. Your body does not stop producing melatonin when you use melatonin. Meaning, if you use what you need to, not a problem. The next night you don't use melatonin, it's still based on light and dark, your body will produce melatonin. If you're taking digestive enzymes and you need more enzymes, your pancreas will help to produce more of those. If you take digestive enzymes for 2 weeks and then the food comes in and there's no enzymes with them, the intestinal brush border and the pancreas will make more enzymes. So that's the nice thing. You are not stopping your body's production of them. A lot of people kind of throw that around online. That is erroneous. That is not necessarily true. Now, here's the interesting thing. As we get older, I'm just using these two examples. As we get older, your production of melatonin goes down by about 10% per decade. By the time you get to 70, you're only producing about 20% to 25% of all the melatonin you once produced in your early 20s. So when I say melatonin is crucial for most people as they age, it's the truth. You can want to produce more on your own without supplementation. I get it, right? And you can be drinking tart cherry juice shots and all that. But at the same time, if you're drinking tart cherry juice shots, why can't you use a clean melatonin? I don't the tart cherry juice. I have nothing against it at all. I think it could be great, but it's just as expensive. I don't know. I like easy. My life is so complicated. I like easy for a lot of things. That's just me. So, okay, let's take a step back. Digestive enzymes. I have no problem taking, and other people taking, 1 to 3 daily digestive enzymes. You can see the ones we use, of course, right over at EqualLife, stephencabral.com/shop. See what we use. You don't have to copy them. You can use your favorite brand. But that's what you use, and people love them, and they continue to use them. And you know what? You digest more of the healthy foods that you're eating. Great. And you have less gas, you have less bloating, you have less inflammation from foods. So have no fear there. Use them when you need them. Don't if you don't. People typically don't take them with a smoothie, but they take them with their whole food meals. That seems to be great for most people. If it's a more complicated meal, you can take 2 to 3. If it's a simple meal, you can just take 1. Whatever works for your digestive system can be really helpful. And then for the meals where you're having some gluten and dairy, you can also add on top of those enzymes 1 or 2 of the gluten and dairy support, which is an enzyme that helps break down very specifically, has DPP4, has lactase, has other things that help break down gluten and proteins and dairy carbohydrates like the lactase, and then it has other great things for beans as well, like xylanase. So it's a great product for kind of more of those complicated ones. Hopefully this was helpful, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new Cabral concept. It will be our mindset of motivation. Can't wait to talk with you then. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.